Last time we talked about what is ageism. Today I want to talk about internal ageism. What is that? Internal ageism is using the stereotypical prejudicial attitudes toward aging, toward ourselves. That means we're hurting ourselves based on our looks, our age, the opportunities that we believe are closed off to us. You get the idea. You know it's a thing. You know it's a thing out there. We just went through a lot of what you could call it reality about ageism with President Biden, whether you're on one side or the other. There were a lot of ageist comments about how he walked, and then it became how he talked. And then it became a question of, is it really true that he is not capable? Well, that was a chance for us to look at something together because we all experienced it and it's not us. So what if ageism is the prejudice? It's not about what can't you do when you're old. Do you understand the difference? Ageism is about a belief system, not about when you're no longer as, let's say, functional or eloquent with your speech. That's not ageism if it has happened to a person and it's true. Do you see the difference? But what's really exciting for me is to bust the ageism wide open within ourselves. We can do this. And this isn't just for older people, because I see people in their 40s already thinking, I'm too old. There are people in their 20s already doing it. And we're not talking about modeling that's only available to teens who look like they're in their 20s. And then when you're in your 20s, you're already too old. So it's out there. I'm not saying it's not out there, but what can we do about it? Is there something we want to do about it? Now, that's the first question. Don't even bother looking at your ageist beliefs. If you're actually happy with the way you're living your life, you're not limiting yourselves, you're able to do everything you would like to do with joy. So if that's not true, let's say you had to retire from your job because corporate world doesn't have people in their 70s, or you had an autoimmune disease and couldn't keep up with that job, or whatever the situation. But what about now? That was then. We're not talking about the future. Can you go back to that job? We're not talking about that. We're talking about joy and living in present time. The difference I have found between successful people excited about their lives and people who have internal ageism is that people with internal ageism stop dreaming, stop making their own opportunities, stop being creative with their lives. So you don't have that job and you maybe do not wish to do that, or you're not allowed to do that. But what would you love to do? Do you love to cook? Do you love to garden? Would you like to make some kind of hybrid vegetation? Would you like to write a book? Would you like to share from home and maybe you don't need more money? Well, you say, I don't know about these social platforms. I don't do them. Well, what if you did? What if there was an easy one to learn and you could just share your expertise? Maybe you make fabulous lasagna. Maybe you want to talk about beliefs. Maybe you want to mentor some younger people or some retired people. Maybe you would like to talk to parents because people who are in our age group, and our meaning any age that's not considered young, maybe you know more than you did when you were younger. So I would like for you to just be with yourself. Allow yourself to dream and imagine. Yesterday, my husband was making toast, and he said, I would like to make a toaster where you could see through and see the level of your toast. Brilliant! I don't know if he'll do that, but that's the thing we can do now. We can dream even bigger because we're not going to a 9-to-5 job or raising small children who need us. So here's to dreaming big. Here's to let's drink together to dreaming big, visualizing, imagining, and allowing yourself to desire something new. And I would encourage you to do two things. Stop calling yourself old and emphasizing the words you can't remember or the names, or being with other so-called older people and complaining, basically, going over all of the things you can't do as well anymore. Stop it, because it's putting a focus on what you don't want more of. And if it's at all possible, join with people of different ages. Maybe you love to knit, or maybe you'd like to be in a book club. Look for one's meaning interests that have some possibility of diversity. In writing my best-selling book, I've, without planning, been with people from, I would say, 30s on up. There's very few, but now there are a few. Since I wrote my book, there are now a few people in their 70s, but not before, not in my group. And what I have learned from being a collaborator was that my wisdom was appreciated, but I learned so much from younger people who were willing to put themselves out there and be seen. So that is my second big offering to you. Are you willing to be visible? Thank you for being with me today.